Hello, everyone. Welcome to the best and worst of Walt Disney World, brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel and Disboards.com. I am your host, Ryan O'Clavin, and in this week's episode, we're actually going to do a little bit of a special holiday-themed episode, and we're going to be talking about the best and worst of the holiday entertainment that is available on Disney+. So, it doesn't non-park related today, all entertainment related. To help me have this conversation, we've got Morgan Lamone.
Hi.
Denny Sunderly.
Hey there.
Mr. Craig Williams.
Ahoy, hoy.
And so this was kind of an idea we had talked about for our Give Kids the World marathon show, but we ended up in a different realm for that one. So we thought it would still be fun to... We want to talk about the movies on Disney Plus somewhere, and this is where we're doing
There
it.
are lots of them.
Yeah, no, and it would have worked best during the marathon show. It would have been fun, a nice way for people to kick off the holiday season, but instead we got that intense best and worst episode about everything happening in the parks that I believe will probably be released next week if you didn't catch it during the marathon show, but it was intense. Jackie got angry at one point.
Did you watch it? You weren't even in the room.
Yeah, of course. I watched it.
That's
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you know?
I see all.
Yeah, I'm like, I know you were in the messaging. Some folks call it a chat room. I will not. But
Messaging is
yeah. So we've decided the idea was too good. We're not leaving it on the table. So here we are today. So what's fun though about for those of you who have Disney Plus, for those of you who don't, what are you doing? Come on, hop on the bandwagon with us.
They're waiting for it for their Christmas present.
Yeah, I did see today that you could get like a card, like a certificate, and get it for somebody for Christmas for $69.99 a year. So I am not sponsored by Disney Plus. I do not make any money from people getting Disney Plus. I am also not suggesting you get Disney Plus either. To be honest with you, I'm just saying. If you're interested in the Disney movies, this is your way in. So they have some, as this is a new streaming service, they've been adding some things here and there and tweaking it. And one of the nice things that kind of finally started was they've got this holiday movies section that highlights some of the not all of though, but some of the holiday offerings they have on here. I'm just going to run through what's in this playlist because it's not a ton of things, but there's more than what's in here. But you got the Disney Plus original movie starring Anna Kendrick, which is Noel. You've got Home Alone 1 and 2. Home Alone 2 being the Lost in New York variety. You've got the Santa Claus 2, Santa Claus 3, Muppet Christmas Carol, Santa Paws 2 for some reason in this playlist, not the first one.
Back in the habit.
Yes. Actually, it's called Santa Paws 2, The Santa Pups. I'll Be Home for Christmas, starring the one and only heartthrob Jonathan Taylor Thomas. There's a Good Luck Charlie. It's
Jessica
Christmas.
Biel's also in that too.
In which? I'll Be Home for Christmas? Oh. We got One Magic Christmas. You've got Babes in Toyland. You've got The Ultimate Christmas Present, Twas the Night, The Christmas Star, Full Court Miracle, Miracle on 34th Street, 12 Dates of Christmas, and Richie Rich's Christmas Wish. And then they have a next section which is animated films, which is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. You've got the classic Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. There's some Frozen thing. It's Olaf's Frozen Adventure. You've got Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
The sequel to Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
Wait, is that true?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mickey and the Beast. Mickey and the Beast. Wow.
Beauty and the Beast.
It's a crossover. It's like a fantasy thing. Yeah. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanting Christmas. You got Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year. Pluto's Christmas Tree, and Mickey's Christmas Carol, which is actually my.
Did they not list Santa's Workshop in there too?
No. That's why I'm telling you. That's why I have to go here. And I was like, they only have Home Alone 1 and 2. There are 5 other Home Alone, or 5 in total. They do have Home Alone 3, but they do not have 4 and 5, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you think I'm joking, but those are 2 real movies. 4th one, Kevin's parents get divorced. Spoiler alert. And then obviously it said Santa Pups in there, so I'm just going to...
Well, you search for that. Yeah, I'll say Santa's Workshop is one of the silly symphonies. It is an awesome, awesome short that is also available on there.
It is on Disney Plus, just not in the thing. Yeah.
And then, that was good. It was a good start.
Santa Buddies is in here. The Legend of Santa Paws. So then I'm assuming, oh no, then there's another one. The Search for Santa Paws. And then there's Santa Paws 2, The Santa Pups. Good, sweet
Sounds
Lord.
adorable.
How many of these?
How many did we need? Still more. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why Santa Paws. Let me type in Santa Paws. Santa Paws, Santa Paws 2, and Santa Buddies. So it must be a trilogy of films there. Yeah.
And people have already turned this off.
Yes, yeah. That's the crazy weird thing about, I don't know if it's just kind of a glitch in the system or somebody just kind of only picked some weird things, but you've got a little playlist, but then also you're going to have to do some digging for yourself. So if there's something in there, like Craig mentioned the Silly Symphony, you're going to have to go and look for that, and just double check and see if it's on there. So should we just go through what they've recommended for the holiday movies in here?
You know what? How about we go through, and if there's one that we don't want to talk about because we haven't seen it or we haven't watched it in way too long, then we'll just skip over it.
Perfect. I'm just going to start in the playlist. Start with the first one, the Disney Plus original Noel. I have not, unfortunately, had a minute to watch this one yet. I feel like it's going to be. I'm on the fence. It could go either way. So I'm waiting till I get home for Christmas and watch it with my mom. So, but a couple of you in this room have seen it, right?
Yes.
I've seen just a bit, but Craig and Morgan, you just saw it.
I watched it right before the show. I think it's really cute. Anna Kendrick doesn't do like annoying Christmas. So I'm glad that she's like happy and jolly, but it's not like overkill by any means. I think the movie's cute. When they go to Arizona, it's a little weird.
We don't need a plot wrap up. We just need general opinions.
It's cute. I love the reindeer snow cone, not snowball, snow cone.
I think I'm finally so happy that I get to actually speak, because I would not say it in front of the other people that we do these shows in front of. To steal a quote from Rhino, I think it is flaming hot garbage. It's really.
I have not said that before.
That's
Have
how
I?
you really feel.
No, it's really bad. So the first, as like we just had an episode where John and Kevin talked about it and recommended it, and they were like, yeah, the first 20 minutes or so are shaky. Basically, anything that happens in the North Pole is just like. This is the reason why this is on Disney Plus. It's not.
You're saying it's not setting the bar very high for one of their first movies.
And if I remember correctly, maybe I am misremembering this. I thought Noel was originally scheduled to be a theatrical release.
I think it was, yeah.
And I think they took one look at it and said, no freaking way.
Yeah.
We've got to, kind of the same thing they did with Lady and the Tramp, where that could have been a theatrical release like the other live action reimaginings, but then someone's like, wow, we're doing this, but not because we should, just because we are. That's the best way to describe Noel. Like anyone who jokes and like, yeah, it's like one step above a Hallmark movie. I think that's
Hallmark
actually
movie's not a very high bar.
Yeah, it's not a high bar.
Yeah.
So I think it really is. It's very much in the same vein if you were able to get out and see the Last Christmas this holiday season.
Oh, my gosh.
Where that was the same thing. That would have been a Hallmark movie. The only thing that set it apart was the fact that it had 3 celebrities in it with Emma Thompson and Henry. I
can't remember his last name.
Yeah, but from
Simple Favor. I'm sorry, not Simple
Favor.
Plan.
What's Crazy Rich Asians?
Yeah,
and then of course Amelia Clark. Like they're the only reason that movie was saved. Noel was only saved because of Anna Kendrick, because of Billy Eichner, Bill Hader. Otherwise, it's just it's terrible. And if you enjoy it, that's fine. But I only have so much time to watch holiday movies. I can't watch bad ones. I don't have time for them.
So this one's in the worst category for you.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Where do you rest in that, Morgan? Best or worst?
Now, like listening to Craig and like thinking about everything, like I did have it on in the background. I wasn't totally paying attention to it, so
It's not what.
not the best.
It's not watching a movie, Morgan.
What?
It's not watching a movie if you're not looking at it and paying attention.
I'll put it in the worst. Because there's been better. There's been way better.
Craig, what was the movie that came out with Santa Claus that was last year on Netflix with Kurt Russell?
The Christmas Chronicles.
Okay, did you enjoy that or did you not enjoy that?
That would be kind of how Morgan just took in Noel. That would be mine. It was on in the background while I was cooking Thanksgiving food.
Oh, you watched it really early. I was going to ask you to say better or worse than that movie. But
yeah, I don't feel comfortable enough to make it.
Okay.
No.
I did enjoy that movie, though. But anyway, let's move on. Home Alone. Not a Disney movie, technically, but it is now a Disney-owned movie. So
we're talking about the first one.
We're talking about Home Alone 1. Yes. I think I think this is kind of a without question, but I could be wrong if anybody has anything. But I think this would lie in the best category.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
No, this is the 1990 classic. You absolutely have to watch it if you have not
My
already
goodness,
watched it.
1990, isn't that crazy?
I know.
Yeah.
It was a good year. So anyhow, yeah, no, I love it. I would highly recommend it.
I think it's still got charm. I think it's got a great Christmas score, great Christmas soundtrack to it. I think there's, I kind of get emotional whenever Kevin talks to the neighbor in the church at the end, and he talks about his daughter. It was his daughter, right? That he was like granddaughter that he'd lost like touch with, and he felt bad about it. And you're like, oh, it's a sweet little moment. And
No, it's if you haven't watched Movies That Made Us on Netflix yet, one of the episodes is on Home Alone. I don't necessarily care for the style of the documentaries that they do. It doesn't. It's a little bit too hokey for me, but it really goes in depth on the making of Home Alone and how it almost didn't even get made at all. It was a Warner Brothers movie, but then Fox snuck in at the last moment and funded it, and it got made. And the original cut was not coming out well, and they just like boldly were like, why don't we see if John Williams will do the score? And he agreed, and that turned around the entire movie. And I totally agree with that too. Like Rhino already mentioned, the music in it is iconic.
the opening, opening number,
everything, and it's heartwarming. It's probably in my top 5 Christmas movies, but I can't even imagine how it wouldn't be in anyone's top 10. Like it is just it's classic.
Good.
Yeah, so we all agree best.
Yes.
Okay, now here's the hard hitter. Home Alone 2. Best or worst?
I could live without it.
You know, I do have a soft place in my heart for Home Alone 2 because I got to see this one in the theater.
Credit card.
You got it. And I got a talk boy. And I wrote Santa a letter. I had kept it quiet. And Santa did not know until Christmas Eve. I wrote a letter asking for a talk boy. And the next day I got a talk boy and I was like, Santa's real. Like Santa, I must have been a real good boy this year. And I still have that talk boy. My mom has it. It still works. They use it. They play around with it still. Like, so I do know that it is inferior to its predecessor, and it is basically the same movie, like retold in a new setting. But I'd still lean for it for me to be on the best part.
I watch it about every other year.
Yeah.
And just, again, I only have so much time, but I mean, it really does. It's the cast that saves this one because you have Tim Curry. And you have Donald Trump in it as well, too.
God, yeah, that's
Rob
so
Schneider.
weird.
Like, it has an awesome cast. And so and you know what? I have never spent Christmas in New York City, but it has always made me want to go.
It has always been a dream of Craig's to give a homeless woman an ornament for Christmas some year. 2 turtle doves. Yeah. I do love that lady.
New York City is amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Out of all the 3 Home Alones, this is the one that we had on VHS.
Out of all the 3, this is my least favorite.
Oh, no. This is the only one that we had. So this is the one that's like fresh in my memory. We watched it on repeat. The other 2 are a little fuzzier in my memory, but I do really like the New York one. And it's just like the whole movie is just like, you just want to be that kid.
Home Alone 3.
Yeah.
Skip it.
Fast forward.
Yeah, don't even pretend it exists.
Yeah.
I also saw this one in the movie theater though, because every movie was sold out that day. We went to use our movie certificates, and my mom was like, "You guys can go see Home Alone 3." And I remember being like, "I think I'm too old for this one." Like, and like it was because I wanted to see Mouse Hunt, and Mouse Hunt was sold out.
Great movie.
The next one is one of my favorites. Again, another one that my mother, for some reason, saw this without me in the movie theater, and then was like, "You kids have to go see this movie. It's so good." The Santa Claus.
It is so good.
It's like Tim Allen is most Tim Allen-est.
It's Tim Allen at his height.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1994, so
we're just about to get Toy Story, right? Then we're very close. Right. You know, Home Improvement's on the air. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just like it's Tim Allen's the hot item, but also Santa. Also a hot item.
I love when he's at the doctor's and he's like, "Does this look like a little weight to you?" And shakes his belly, and it's all gross.
Yeah, and it gives us a sneak peek into what they believe the North Pole looks like, and how the elves operate, and how the whole operation operates. And it's just neat to kind of see their take on that, and how that carried through the next 3.
You know, a part still makes me laugh out loud too is the part when he gets into his room and the elf leaves him and he drops his pants and the Punching Judy scream.
Yeah.
The thing, but
Oh yeah, no. The first 30 minutes of the movie is what makes it for me. Like everything with Charlie at his house and burning the turkey on Christmas
and the carol,
Eve.
the bells they're singing when he's going to the Denny's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they go to Denny's, and the only other people there are a bunch of Asian businessmen. We'll have 2 cups of eggnog. We're all out.
I'll have milk, chocolate milk, please. We're out.
Regular's
Regular,
fine. Yeah, it's just, and then once it gets like going through that night, getting to the North Pole, it's like it is so solid.
It's morbid, but when Santa falls off the roof, I think that whole scene is kind of hilarious when he's just talking about a dead. Oh, great! There's a guy running around naked in my neighborhood or whatever. Like,
And who doesn't appreciate a good pun?
yeah.
The Santa Claus.
I also like arose such a clatter. It's the ladder, like the. There's a lot of like this. That one has a lot of charm to it. I agree with you, Denny, about the North Pole. I'm just bringing this up again because we're going to talk about the Santa Claus 2 right now, and I feel like a lot of that charm that was in that first one disappears for me in the second and third. So I'm just curious where you guys rest on Santa Claus 2, best or worst.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, you go first.
Okay. It's faint in my memories. Just started playing a little bit of it in the other room. I don't remember too much, but I do like the sets. I think the sets are cool, but worst, I guess.
What do you think, Denny?
I'm okay on it. I like the addition of Juliet from Lost.
God, I love Juliet from Lost. Yeah,
that's
so much so that I can't remember her name right now, but I love her.
Husband's all-time favorite.
Yeah, she's my favorite character on Lost. So
yeah, so I mean, I like that. I appreciate that they went out and got someone who could really hold her own, and that it was a little funky and feels a little rushed, but I enjoyed it.
Craig, I'd like to hear your thoughts before I say anything.
Never watched them.
Really? Okay,
Don't
so
need to.
I only had just seen the second and third one. It was like within the last 3 years. I think I chose to. I was like, you know what? I'll get a hold of them and I'll watch them. And I went. I wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't get to the end and think I'm unhappy. I've seen these now, and now I've ruined this for me. But I will say, I could have lived.
Yeah.
Could have lived without them.
And the only reason I haven't, I mean, yes, they were always on TV. It's always on Freeform. It's on Disney Channel. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't have access. I openly chose not to watch it. Like I just said about Santa Claus, my favorite parts of the Santa Claus are when he's not actually Santa Claus.
Yeah, when his journey becoming Santa.
Yeah.
You know? It's funny, like when he comes in, when he's wearing the sweatsuit. And he's like, oh, stung by a bee. How many bees stung you?
I don't want the others. I don't want the North Pole. I don't want him meeting his wife. I don't want him with Jack Frost, even though I love Martin Short. But
Well, so Elizabeth Mitchell is the name of the wife, Mrs. Claus in there too. But I also have this weird thing where it's, we're in that day and age now where the part we did watch of the second one just a moment ago in the other room was the contract about how he's contractually obligated to marry, and it specifically says to marry a woman. And like, I understand it's the story of Santa and Mrs. Claus, but there is some verbiage in there that is very weird now that I'm like, this feels very forceful. And I wish it had just been a different movie that wasn't part of the Santa Claus franchise. So for me, I put it on the worst, only because I'm never going to watch again.
Well,
same for the third.
Then you're going to love the message behind Noel.
Oh, great. Okay. Muppets Christmas Carol. I think this goes without saying. Worst. No, I'm just kidding. No.
And I think Craig's gonna blow his top if you put it.
I haven't seen it in a couple of years now, but I do. I remember this is one they brought us and showed us. You remember at school around Christmas they'd wheel in the TV, and this was the first time I saw it. I remember like watching it in my classroom and thinking like, that was like the best Muppet movie I've ever seen. Like, but Craig, I know this is like your favorite.
Oh, it is. We have a strict policy here at the Diz that we don't fire before the holidays. So, Denny, you're safe at least until
time.
I think I might have. Now that I'm looking back on I think I might have seen it like on TV. Did they show it on TV?
Yeah.
Okay, so I might have tuned into a snippet here or there.
Okay, I see. You're trying to save the job. It's all good. No, so I mean, it's how many versions of of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol? There's at least 10.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
And that doesn't.
I feel like every year
on
there's
this
one.
list alone,
Exactly. And on the list alone, there's a couple. So it's not like it's not a story that no one knows. You either know it from the book or from any of them. it's just to me, I think Muppet Christmas Carol is actually the best iteration of it. It takes a story and it doesn't sanitize the darkness of it. It still has that moments like when the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come comes in, and it's a big giant, Grim Reaper essentially. That is downright scary still to this day. And but it also balances out with that humor, and it breaks the fourth wall with Gonzo and Rizzo being the narrators. And it's just, it nails everything. Plus the music is so good. And this is the first full length movie made after Jim Henson passes away. It was a high bar to match up with the legacy that he left, and his son Brian did just a standout job with it. And I feel like if it would have went downhill, the Muppets might not be around today still.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, how about the Santa Paws trilogy?
Skip it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Seen it.
We should have said watch or skip. That should have been the thing we were saying. We're leaving it from best and worst, and we're going to say watch or skip. Now that's what we're changing. Perfect. How about I'll Be Home for Christmas?
Oh, Kylie and I watched this movie the other night. I almost said an expletive. We watched it the other night because we're going through Disney Plus and like, okay, we'll see what we can watch. And this is another one that I see it on TV, see it on other streaming services, and always skipped it. And finally, we're gonna do it. And it's JTT trying to break the mold of himself. He's this really despicable person who doesn't appreciate his family, his friends, anyone around him, his girlfriend, and he has to get home from Christmas or his dad won't give him a vintage Porsche. And that's the entire plot of the movie. And even by the end of it, I'm not sure if he's a good person or not. And it's just no one wants to think of JTT that way. I'd rather think about him as man of the house. Is that on this service? It should be, but I don't believe so yet.
Yeah. So it's a skip for you because I don't think I've actually seen this.
I would watch it once if you haven't seen it before, and I will not watch it again. But I'm happy I watched it the first time. So it had Christmas music, it had some holiday spirit in it. So I can't say that it didn't have the elements that I like. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how about this Good Luck Charlie?
Not seen it.
Nobody's seen the Good Luck Charlie. What? Is it just a Christmas episode or is it a Christmas movie? That's what I was confused about.
Must be a spinoff.
No, it's Good Luck Charlie. It's Christmas. It's an hour and a half. It must have been a fun little movie they did for a thing. I mean, I like Good Luck Charlie, but how about One Magic Christmas?
One Magic.
1985.
I have not watched it. I'm aware of it, but I have not watched it.
I remember this poster. I'm pretty sure I might have seen this when I was a little kid, but we're gonna pass on that. How about Babes in Toyland?
Classic, you have to.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to agree with Denny on it, but with the caveat that it's more of a Christmas movie because of when it was released, plus the fact that it has the March of the Wooden Soldiers, which of course is where we get our wooden soldiers for the Christmas parade and such. But that is literally a 10-minute segment of an hour and a half movie. The rest of it is very un-Christmas. So you watch it during Christmas for that one part, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, how about this other one that's in here? Also, I've just submitted a claim to Disney Plus to ask them to put Man of the House on here. If you out there listening or watching would like to do the same, I encourage you to do so.
Here.
Chevy Chase, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, come on. The Ultimate Christmas Present. I got to tell you, the font on this is really creepy. Oh my gosh! And I just realized who Santa Claus is in this one. So none of us have seen it. So you know what? Maybe I'll add it to the list this year just because I haven't seen it. How about Twas the Night? It's a Bryan Cranston Santa Claus movie. Anyone?
Bryan Cranston.
Where was this at in Bryan Cranston's career?
2001.
So this is right before Malcolm in the Middle?
No, I think Malcolm in the Middle was already on. Mm-hmm. Malcolm in the Middle, I think, started in
the late 90s.
Yeah. The Frankie Muniz phase.
Yeah.
Let me see. Malcolm in the Middle started. Yeah, it was the next year. Malcolm in the Middle started at the beginning of 2000.
So chances are he filmed it somewhere right around the start of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah. But let's not forget, Bryan Cranston was also the voice of several monsters on Power Rangers. So he has an illustrious career.
He's a Renaissance man.
This man has done so many things. Well, how about The Christmas Star?
I have not watched
No one
it
familiar
either,
with that one? Me neither. Me neither. How about Full Court Miracle? This is a Hanukkah story. I
Very
appreciate that it's
cool.
on here. Don't know that it.
No.
Don't know that
I'm
it.
going to abstain from this part.
It feels like Angels in the Outfield, but basketball and Hanukkah.
We have a lot of watching to do this Christmas.
Apparently. How about a original? How dare you? This is your Disney movie, but Miracle on 34th Street, the original.
It is.
Right.
It
You
is a
have to.
20th Century Fox.
I know.
Disney owns Fox. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And it is the original, not the 1990
It's the
whatever remake.
1947
I know.
one, not the Jurassic Park Miranda Wilson one.
it
Jurassic
is-
Park.
yeah.
That's not what I meant. You know what I meant.
The original
The
Miracle
dinosaurs
on 34th Street is a must watch.
You have
It's
to.
pretty much a must watch every single season.
Guys, confession. Never seen it.
Well, there you go.
you should.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it this year. Actually, I think that's gonna be the number one thing in this list. That I'm
No,
gonna
I
watch
haven't
this year.
seen it either.
It is pure magic. It's really, I mean, that's why you go see the Macy's Santa Claus is solely
exactly
because
right.
of this movie. I mean, that's why everything is special around seeing Santa in the department store, and the emotional arc in the movie is fantastic. And Natalie Wood is the little girl in it, and before she
Oh my gosh, I didn't know Natalie Wood was the little girl. I've seen parts of the movie, and I'm familiar with the general plot of the movie, but it's the lawsuit against him, isn't it? Where they're like trying to prove he's not Santa in court, and that's like sadly I've also seen the parts of the remake. But how about 12 Dates of Christmas starring Mark Paul Gosselaar and Amy Smart?
Oh my. Zach's
I feel
in
like
it?
I was gonna say I'm kind of always sucked into things when Mark Paul Gosselaar is involved, but I don't know where this movie even comes from. To be
I
honest with
believe
you.
this was an ABC Family original when it was their take on a Hallmark one.
Okay,
So when ABC Family was putting out it, now it might have been
you're right.
in the Freeform days.
It was
but
ABC Family, December 11th, 2011. So it's not even that old, I guess. But how about
it's got to be a little old because Amy Smart's in it.
yeah, I'm sure. How about Richie Rich's Christmas Wish?
Skip. It's not Macaulay Culkin.
It's not Macaulay Culkin, and then it's nothing. How about The Nightmare Before Christmas? I think this is a must-watch.
This
for
is
me.
a Halloween movie.
I thought we. How dare you? Okay,
I
no.
really want it to be a Christmas
Yeah.
movie. And Rhino and I would think that it's a Halloween
I can't.
movie. And
I
now he's
imagine
like,
everybody who gets aggravated by Craig was just screaming so loud in those 2 seconds.
I think if you are a Disney Parks fan, it behooves you to watch this movie. However, I mean, it'll help to give context to a lot of what you see and experience in the parks. I know you guys out in Disneyland have Oogie Boogie's Bash now, and that's a really big deal. And so it helped to fill in the blanks. I only saw this for the first time, I think it was last year. It was the year before last, one of the two. I did not get the mystique. I did not get the, oh my stars, this is the best thing ever thing out of this movie at all. And I know, I'm sorry, Rhino.
I get it.
Your big eyes.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I think.
didn't-
I think there's a lot to say when you see a movie so long after a hype of it, and it kind of diminish it.
It's like,
I don't know.
what?
It sets either unrealistic expectations, or it just. I think the beauty of this movie was the charm it had when it originally came out, and like I remember my mom took me, like I was supposed to be in school, but she took me to see this movie, and we were not supposed to tell my brother, but I loved the movie so much that I was like, Mike, that movie has songs in it. You won't like it. There are songs.
There
in
are
it.
songs.
I didn't know the word for musical, so I just said songs.
And like when it came out, Rhino and I were key demographic age for it.
Yeah.
We both saw it. It then kind of just disappeared. People who saw it had a fondness for it, but they didn't care about it. It was really when emo kind of set in big, and like Blink 182 talked
Hot
about it in the
Topic got a
song,
big thing,
and
yeah.
Hot Topic blew up, and that's when the movie got resurged, and because it was helping people connect with that entire kind of
I'd say it took about 10
style,
years,
and-
probably at least.
Yeah, and that so I understand why. Back in the day, it wasn't a thing that people lost their minds over. So I can see why people don't like it, but I will never forget making my grandpa take me to it and how much he hated it. And,
Oh, no.
and it was so it will
grandpa.
always stick with me because of that. Yeah.
My mom always says the second like the movie started and it's that opening scene, she was like, "What have I done?"
It's also when I realized that my parents bought my grandparents Christmas gifts for me because one year they bought Nightmare Before Christmas for me, and like, I'll show Grandpa what you got. Like, oh, that thing.
When I took my mom to Oogie Boogie Bash and she saw Oogie Boogie, she goes, "Oh, he's so cute." I'm like, "Mom, you haven't seen the movie. He's like made of bugs."
Yeah, the plush Oogie Boogie, I love him because he is cute. But yeah, when you see the movie, you go, "Oh, that's disgusting."
Yeah.
He's not a good guy. My mom and I, we enjoy the macabre, so you know. But how about Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas?
Yes.
I've actually never seen this.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a new. I was getting it mixed up with
It was a
different one.
VHS we had on replay growing up, so I know this very
I have
well.
seen
A VHS. Oh yeah, I guess 1999.
I don't know if it's this one or the sequel, but when Huey, Dewey, and Louie want to redo Christmas and have it every day, and then they get sick of it, and I love that little part.
it's
It's so cute.
I like them both.
I think that might be the
They're worth
second one.
watching.
It might be the second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that second one's about the joys of Christmas, and the first one's about all their like favorite Christmases together or something.
Oh,
so,
okay. Must be
yeah,
the
Cute.
one.
So where do we lie on the second one then?
They're both
Same
cute.
same spot.
Yeah.
All right. How about this? Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
Do not watch it before Coco, but
Don't-
any other time.
I've not seen it. That's where the snow G's come in, right?
the what?
The snow.
No, that's for the
That's the-
Frozen Fever.
That's what
one.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Snow geese.
Snow geese.
Like boogies.
Like
Snow
boogies.
geese, yeah.
Nice.
They added this
Of
little
course.
part in the parks
Yeah.
at the end of the Frozen sing along, and then they sing like when we're together, and I was like, like getting a little emotional. I'm like, this is so beautiful.
So I like it, but the context, Denny, was they were worried about Coco coming out, and they didn't know if it was going to hit the mark. So they decided they had
That's
this made for
right.
TV animated movie
Okay.
for Frozen that was 22 minutes long, and they're like, well, we'll throw it in front of Coco, and people will go see Frozen, and then they also get Coco. But then, of course, the narrative flipped, and everyone wanted to see Coco, and they did not want to sit through a 22-minute
And they
short
pulled it,
film.
didn't
And they did, yes. But that being said, standing alone by itself, it's actually really sweet because Olaf's going around trying to get traditions for the girls because they grew up without Christmas traditions. And
there's kittens and sweaters.
Parents are terrible.
So
And they
that's
died.
where we get on Sunset the Frozen,
Yes.
the flurry
Yes.
fun stuff
Yeah.
that's going on. That's what that's from.
Yes.
Because he's asking about their
That
traditions.
time of year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That gives me context. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I'd
you.
watch it,
That's good. I will.
just not in front of Coco.
I might get angry.
I actually surprisingly don't mind this one
Good.
because it's all about Olaf, and Olaf is the best part of the movie.
And it has nothing to do with Elsa's lack of,
Well,
growth.
there's a lot less of the annoying one in this one. So,
Poor Elsa.
okay. So, how about Beauty and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas?
Yes.
That's wonderful because
I
you
actually
get
don't
her
think I've seen
special
this.
dress in it.
Her
She was
dress.
so
Her
pretty.
dress,
Uncle
Belle
Ryan.
in her dress. My niece's favorite princess is Belle, but she has a weird wobbly voice. Sorry, I hope no one sees this. I just called her weird. My family doesn't watch any of
We
this, so
have
it's
been
fine.
mocking her for years at this
Oh,
point.
my
Because she does
goodness.
Uncle Ryan, like she talks like, Artie puts me down. He won't stop kissing me.
I
Like,
like
that means he
her.
likes you, Clara. Like,
Oh, I like
I'm gonna
her
jump out of this treehouse. Please don't. I'm doing it. Like that's so. She went on her first Disney World trip. She was like, we did the Enchanted Tales with Belle, and she was like, oh, it's Belle in her dress, and it was the funniest thing in the world. to
That
her.
is so
But it's like she knows I'm trying to videotape her, so whenever I try and get a video of her, she looks at me. She'll be like, "Oh, Uncle," and she like shuts it off immediately. So I can only get seconds of it, so nobody believes me.
She's
But
on to you.
Yeah, but anyway, I feel like I should watch this year with her to get the reaction
Yeah.
to prove to you all about Clara.
The
you
only
get-
thing weird about this movie is the fact,
Yeah.
is the fact that the organ is, I don't want to say 3D, but that animation and it contrasts completely differently with,
Oh, so there's like a three-dimensional character and a hand-drawn.
and it's a very scary organ.
It's the bad guy.
It's the bad guy.
I just read about him. Now I understand why it said composer. I was like, what?
Okay. Clever.
Well, how about Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year? How do we feel about this? I haven't seen it.
An hour long. I thought it'd be something shorter.
See, I have seen this before, but the Pooh year always screws me up because I believe there's another one that's Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2 that they made, and that one remember.
If they didn't, they're missing out on that title.
If you do a quick Google search on it, I'm pretty sure you're going to find it. But this is it's all in the style of like the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh that they kind of launched in the late 80s through the 90s. So I think I watched this style of Pooh before the original cartoon. So
Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2 is a 1991 American Christmas television special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I like this style. I recommend it. But if you're like, no, I only like classic Winnie the Pooh from the 70s, then you're probably not going to like it that much. But I mean, it's Winnie the Pooh. Who doesn't like Winnie the Pooh?
I feel like Winnie the Pooh at the holidays. I mean, come on.
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
That's all I got.
How about this? This is the weirdest title. The way this is when you click on it, it says Disney Pluto's Christmas Tree.
Yes, Pluto's Christmas Tree is one of the classic Christmas shorts. It's where Mickey goes and cuts down a tree, and Chip and Dale are inside the tree.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So Pluto ravages them, and that's like my one ravages. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he constantly goes after them. He's a ravager.
Okay,
he would fit right in
with the Guardians.
Yeah,
okay, all right, yeah.
So
there it is. Yeah, okay.
Maybe I'm using that wrong, but he wants to kill those chipmunks ruthlessly, and they have to do costume changes to try to hide. There's hijinks, and it's pure Christmas. This along with Santa's Workshop. It's like the 1-2 duo that you have to watch on Disney Plus if you want that classic Disney Christmas of the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Well, this next one is a favorite of mine from childhood, so I think it's a must watch. But Mickey's Christmas Carol, and Craig talked earlier about scary imagery used in some cartoons, in the Muppets Christmas Carol with the Reaper. When Pete comes out as the Reaper in this, and he lights the cigarette on the grave to smoke his cigar, and he just goes to send him like Scrooge. I'm like, this is terrifying. Like, that's also where my my VHS recording of it would always get caught in the VCR. So it basically is Scrooge dying, and then it cuts. There's a big cut, and I'm like, I don't know what happens for a long time. And then finally, I saw the end where he like runs around and he gives it was on 2 different tapes. We had to like redub the tape.
I mean, Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah.
A marriage.
Did they do it on
made
purpose?
In history. Scrooge McDuck was in cartoon and like comics and stuff.
Oh, so had he not made an animated debut into this? I'm sorry to put you on the spot about that.
I could be completely wrong on it. I believe he was in the comics leading up to it, and that would have been his definitely.
And this is 1983, so DuckTales wasn't till later. So I don't know if his relation to Donald and the other ducks had been established.
I could be wrong. The comics might have come afterwards, but I'm pretty sure the comics came before, and then they used them for this, and then DuckTales and the rest was history. But I'm not 1,000% sure anymore. I went in so confident, and now I'm faltering.
Created in 1947, Craig.
Okay,
so
thank
yes,
you. Thank you.
But I mean, you've seen this, right?
Oh, yeah, Goofy is Jacob Marley.
Oh yeah, that was always my favorite part when he trips over the chains and falls down the stairs.
And the giant as the Ghost
Miss
of Christmas
Matthew.
Present. Yeah, it's Miss Matthews. It's all just wonderful. So and it's short. So animated, theatrical short. So it's very easy to consume. It's not like your kids aren't going to get bored during it. And while Rhino said there is a scary element, I would say this is one of the tamest versions of the Christmas Carol story that you could let your kids watch to introduce them to the story and then go to Muppets and beyond.
I didn't realize it was only 25 minutes because watching it as a kid, you think like it's a whole hour long.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I thought it was way longer than that. I just didn't even realize that until you said that.
What did it play in front of Fox and the Hound?
Was it in front of something? I thought I had it as its own thing.
Wow.
No.
It was released as its own thing, but it played in the movie theaters.
Well, 1983, I was not alive. but neither were you.
Rhino, I could have swore you were alive.
Brother.
I don't know how you saw it.
You've been
before,
lying
so-
about your age for years.
What did you say? 1893. I'm a vampire.
Yeah, he is. A ghost.
Yeah, but that's all the Disney Plus holiday entertainments that's listed in here. However, there's some other things, because there's this one that's popping up now. You know, you could consider the Goofy's Art of Skiing is fun. It's
Sheen. Sheen.
Donald's Winter Storage. There's some other kind of holiday themed things that weren't really popping up or could be considered in there. So I'd say if there's something that you feel like is missing, poke around in the service and you might be able to find it.
I just found, didn't think it was not necessarily a movie, but Decorating Disney Holiday Magic. If you're a
That's
Parks
super-
fan, like
yeah,
most of the people
absolutely.
watching here,
Well,
it's a good
and
thing to watch.
yeah, and like Boy Meets World is added onto Disney Plus. They have a couple Christmas episodes on there, so all the shows that are on there have Christmas episodes. If you have the Hulu bundle, that opens you up to a lot of the TGIF shows that always did Christmas episodes too. Like if you're not watching Home Improvement Christmas episodes, you are missing out. Family Matters, they always like tugged at the heartstrings on theirs. Full House had a couple good ones as well. But and then if you're also on Hulu, just stop by and watch Daddy's Home too, because that is a Christmas classic that should be enjoyed all throughout the year.
He made me watch it the other day.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. I am trying. I was desperately trying to find the information about the Christmas Carol. It was a big deal, though, because it was the first time a Mickey short had been in the theaters in over 30 years. And it was the first time in animation that Scrooge McDuck... that Scrooge McDuck was voiced by Alan Young. Okay, so this was adapted from an album that had been recorded in 1974. I don't know. It doesn't say. Production distributed by Running Time Country. Guys, I'm sorry. I guess if you know it, let me know, because I just don't know. And I'm really bummed out that I couldn't figure it out.
It's fine.
It's a mystery, Christmas mystery.
Alongside reissues of The Jungle Book, and was issued in U.S. with
there
a
you go.
Christmas reissue of The Rescuers. It had been broadcast on with a Christmas 1983 re-release of The Rescuers.
There you go.
So maybe that was
You
it.
did find it.
Oh, guys, that was
Perfect.
stressful. I'm sorry.
Wow.
A holiday miracle, exactly. So, cue the music. We're being played off. Everyone, have a great night. No, so, but we will take that. I'll take that as your cue. I am with Craig. I do enjoy watching any sort of those shows you watch when you're a kid, and watching all the Christmas episodes of them. And it's fun to go back and kind of see, especially like Home Improvement. I feel like has some good ones in there and stuff. But that will do it for this episode. Thank you, everybody in here, for having this conversation with me. Thank you, everyone out there, for watching. And we hope you have a happy and safe holiday season. If you are enjoying watching or listening to this, please feel free to subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel. And on YouTube, if you click the little bell, you'll get notified whenever we upload any sort of content onto our channel. And it'll just help you keep up with all of our shenanigans out there. So that'll do it for this time. But we will be back. I cannot speak right now. We will be back with another episode of The Best and Worst of Walt Disney World. Take care, everyone. Bye.